Aren't you tired of having all of your documents look exactly like everybody else's documents? Today, I'm going to show you how to make your documents your own. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use styles in Google Docs. Styles may have been something that you've noticed in Google Docs or almost every single word processor ever known to man, where you can set the headings and they change how the document looks. Well, you can actually modify what fonts, the spacing, and all that fun stuff with each of the types of styles and make Google Docs your own. And then we'll show you how to save those styles so every Google Doc you make has your own unique spin on it. So I'm going to bring up a document here. I've already opened up the Constitution of the United States, just so you can see what styles can do for you. For starters, this little guy on the left side here is automatically created from the different styles in your document. You can close it or show it, but if you've seen that document outline and wondered how it knew how to do all those things, those were using the styles that are underneath this menu option right here. I'm going to click on different headings so you can kind of see. When I click on it, this changes to heading 1. This one's a heading 2. And this one's a heading 3. So that's how it automatically indents and automatically creates all that fun stuff. And I can jump right down to Article 3 based on the style, or back up to Article 1. And that's all in the styles. And then the normal text style is your regular text in the document. So your styles give you some consistency. Heading 1 is always going to be Merriweather size 22.5. Heading 2 is going to be Merriweather size 18. And heading 3 is going to be Merriweather size 15. And your normal text is going to be Arial, but at 12 point, not 11. We're going to make up our own style and make it our own. So I'm just going to open up a new document. And we're going to make this our style. Directions on creating styles. That's our heading 1. And we're going to add some text here. I have Lorem in some text that we're just going to paste in there. And let's say we want this to be section 1, which we're going to put a heading 2. And to set the style, you just have to click on it. You notice I don't have to highlight the text. It's going to set the style of the paragraph you're on. And that's key. If I set the style on this first paragraph, it's going to set it for that whole monster because it goes off of paragraphs, not sentences. And a paragraph is the end of a line that's hit when you hit return. So I just have to be somewhere in the line to set the text. There's our styles. We have a heading 1, we have a normal text, and we have heading 2. Let's make this our own. To make it your own style, you do have to highlight what you want to change. So I'm going to highlight this text, and I want my heading fonts to be sulfur point. So now it is sulfur point, and I want it to be bold, and I do want it to be slightly bigger. So that's how I want all of my heading 1s to be: sulfur point, 23 font size, and bold. Once I have that set, underneath the side menu here of heading 1, there is update heading 1 to match. Once I do that, scroll down here, see chapter 2 is still the old heading. Once I update that heading to match, chapter 2 is going to change. So there, I changed it. If this had a lot more, it's going to change it for all of them. We can do that for each heading. So I want this heading to also be sulfur point, but we're going to leave it at 16 point and we don't want it bold. And I will update heading 2 to match. Now you'll see section 2 is also my new style. Now that we change those other fonts, we're going to change our normal text. So I'm going to highlight that, and I want to set that to be Laura. And then I'm going to do update normal text to match. Now it's Laura everywhere for my normal text. When I get down here, we'll do a chapter 3, put in more text, and I copied and pasted that, but I didn't preserve the formatting that it was there. That's why it switched back to Arial. If you want to copy and paste and inherit the font that's already set, hold down the Shift key when you do the copy. So I'm on a Windows machine, so I'm going to do Control Shift paste. On a Mac, you do Command Shift paste. But when you do that, the text will inherit whatever font you're pasting into. And when I do Control Shift paste, you notice it's Laura. And it does have some extra returns in there, but we can easily get rid of those. That's just because I was copying and pasting it from the website. But you notice it automatically picked up Laura. I don't have to mess around with anything. I'm just ready to go. I can do a section, chapter 3, section 1, and set this at heading 2. And it automatically throws it in over here, and it's all nice. Very, very nice. I've got one other piece. You're not stuck using black on white text for this. I like to set my styles up with a different color. So if I highlight my style and set a text color, say this cornflower blue, date heading 1 to match, and we're going to set that for our heading 2 also. Cornflower blue, heading 2, update heading 2 to match, and boom, it changed all of my to that nice little blue. That's a little light, but for this we'll keep it. So we've got our great formats, we've got our great fonts, we've got our great colors. We want to use these every single time because you don't want to have to sit there and change your styles every time, because that's a pain and you've got a computer to do it for you. If you go over to your styles menu, down under options, there is a save as my default styles. Before we do that, so if I go and start up a new document, I'll click on the styles and you notice they're all the boring default Arial styles. Once I go to options, save as my default styles, every time I say styles, I think of Harry Styles. I don't know why. Now, if I go open up a new document, look, my default font is Laura for normal text and my other styles are there. From now on, every document I create will have my new styles. But Ryan, what happens if I change the styles in a new document? What about my older documents? Your older documents keep the style that it was at the time you created it. So if you, in the future, you notice I have heading 3 on here. If I go and change heading 3, to a different font, and we'll make that bold and we'll make it red. Then we'll update heading 3 to match. That's only changing heading 3 in this document. You'll notice my old document, heading 3 is still the old font on black. If I create a new document, heading 3 is still the default. If I would save this as my default styles, then from then on, every new document I would create, it would have that red heading 3. It won't affect any documents you created before, and it'll only affect documents you create after if you save it as your default styles. So that's it for today. Hopefully you got something out of it. Create your own style, make your own font. Go back and look at my video on making Google Slides look good, where I talk about creating your own brand and picking out some fonts that you really like so you can use those fonts, and when people see the document, they know you created it. This bit me. We moved into a new building several years ago, and we had trainings on all the services in the building, and the training took forever. Well, I had already set up my own default styles, so I created all my notes in these default styles. Well, we were having a question on one particular aspect of the building, and the secretaries were asking me, well, how do you do this? And I said, I don't know. I don't remember ever doing this training. Well, then they shared the document with me, and it was in my default style. So obviously I wrote the document and I did it several years before and I didn't remember. So it's a great way so you know exactly you created this document and no one else did. If you like what you saw, be sure to subscribe. Even if you didn't like what you saw, be sure to subscribe, like the video, check out my website at educate.me. Stay classy.